The Crash Course Podcast is brought to you in part by DerbyParts.com, Smash Masters, Derby Parts, and Derby Inc. magazine. Live it, breathe it, be it, Derby Inc. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt. Good afternoon, good evening, good day. I am Chris Marquardt. This is episode number 12 of the Crash Course Demolition Derby Podcast. This is another episode where we're going to be focusing a lot on the Keystone Nationals down in Brookville, Pennsylvania. We've got Bo Lockwood on deck. We've got Steve Cioppa is going to be joining us. Brian Tompkins here is in studio. Bryan Bowman is going to be joining us around 6:45. All of them will be contacting us via the DerbyParts.com hotline. Thanks to Finger Lakes 1 for having us in here. Josh Decker, you drop kicked the camera. Look at how messed up you look over there. Good God, what are you doing?
What is it, Chris?
Man.
I think I did.
Man, I'll fix that later. There's Brian, you look good. You look real good.
Of course I do. I'm just hoping the lighting is better for Josh this week because I know that was a major concern.
Well, he made it on time for makeup
week.
this time around, so that worked out okay.
Josh, do you feel like you look okay this week?
No, I look crooked on that screen.
You do look crooked,
no,
boy.
I fixed it,
well,
right?
I don't know. I'll come tend to that here in a minute. Joining us also via the Derby Tees Skype hotline, we have Steve Bucknam. Steve, can you hear us? Are you coming in okay?
I can hear you fine. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I'm glad that worked out.
You're a handsome devil. You're a real handsome devil.
We're gonna try and make this a little bit more of a regular occurrence here. We try and factor in the Skype stuff a little bit more, so people have the chance to see who we're talking to and who we're hanging out with, and I guess we'll kind of get stuff going right off the top with Steve. How have things been going? I mean, we've been building toward this big announcement here. Crash Course, Derby Inc. magazine, Smashed Empire Films is putting together the package, and now it's come to pass, and it's going to be a done deal for next year. We're going to be there live at the Keystone Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, 2014 for Brookville, Pennsylvania is really going to be a tough year to beat, I think. It's going to set a lot of bars in that area, and I think it's probably going to change the face of Demolition Derby across all of Pennsylvania and maybe even Eastern Ohio, the way things have been sounding. They've been building it up, over the last 3 or 4 years to become bigger and bigger, and I think this is the culmination of that. And just real happy to be a part of it. I first ran there in 2003. I've developed kind of a kinship with that place, and it's nice to see it doing so well.
And you're going to be able to announce down there, and we're also going to be working pretty close with the Crash Course Live portion of the program, where we're going to be doing basically a pre-race and a post-race show from right there trackside. They're going to have a bit of a talking with Bo a little bit. He says basically going to be like a media center, but right trackside with the billboard and everything in the background. So it's going to be pretty neat setup for us, and
awesome. We'll
have a chance to be right in there close with the fans and some of the other media folk that are covering that. And then Steve's going to have his standard spot right there in front of the grandstands.
Yeah, right where everybody wants to see. I'm always in everyone's way, no matter what I try to do. But Bo's been talking about building a new stage. He's been working with the fairgrounds and the fair board to come up with some different things to make things more exciting for the drivers and the fans. I think 2014 is going to see a lot of changes in the general arena. The arena, the pit area, what do they call it? A movable stage that's been there in the past years. That's going to be moved out of the way. And they're building some new stuff, building some pavilions, building a stage for you guys. So the fair board has been really, really committed to this, and they're showing it. They're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're making the changes for 2014. It's really, really exciting.
Steve, it's good to hear you say that. I hope, which they're probably not, but you really hope that other fairs and fair boards are listening to this, because the fairs that are stepping up and actually working with the drivers like we've been begging for all these years, these shows are really starting to grow, and it's awesome to see Brookville, Hartford, shows like that are working with us. We got to support them. We all have to support them.
Well,
absolutely, man. Why wouldn't you support a derby that is trying to help the drivers and help the sport?
Exactly.
One of the fairs that is listened to what's been going on over there at the Keystone Nationals is Clarion County. Clarion County is going to bookend it. Clarion County and Clarion, Pennsylvania is also going to be run by Bo Lockwood this year. So I hope I didn't speak out of school there. That is public information now, right?
It is public.
Okay, it is now.
I believe Bo will be talking some more about that when he calls in. He'll have some details on how those two shows will kind of intertwine. But from what I know, they're going to have the same limited weld rules across both shows, which could really open up a lot of opportunities for drivers. Guys that maybe wouldn't want to build for a limited weld show because maybe it's out of their build zone and they don't want to just run one place and then not have anywhere to take a car.
Right.
Well, now they know they have two shows within a week of each other with very competitive pay. So it really opens up a lot of opportunities.
I know that show's been getting a lot of attention in the Dunkirk area, like Chautauqua County area out that way. And also it's been getting a lot of attention in one of your other home areas, Brockton, Massachusetts. There's some talk that some of those guys are coming down.
You know, Bo opened up kind of a neat option for people that are trying to come from far away, and he's offering sort of a free entry situation. You know, you have to put some money in to hold your spot, but if you come from 350 miles away or further, he's going to give you your entry money back and throw in a couple of pit passes.
Nice.
You know, he has the details on that, but it really does. It just kind of adds a little bit of a bonus for somebody who's going to probably spend, you know, $700 or $800 in fuel to haul a car that far.
Yep.
And you know, they don't have to worry about paying when they get there. They're going to get a couple bucks back in their pocket. So
such a great idea.
Yeah,
it really is a great idea.
I know of at least two, or actually I know of three drivers for sure that, as of right now, they are definitely coming to Brookville. Obviously, there's still time between now and then, but they've got their cars set aside. They've been looking at rules, and they're coming. So
can you name names?
I don't want to. You know what? I haven't talked to them to ask if they want it to be known, so I don't want to out anybody. But I know that they're coming.
Yeah, it's that really is a good idea. I mean, it seems that a lot of people in the last couple years are really traveling a lot farther, and it's opening up guys' eyes. I think that it's fun to go other places. Like for years, everyone was getting, I'm scared to go here, scared to go here. I'm just gonna get run over. But now you're realizing you can go far away, not know anybody, but still have a good time.
Josh, I think, in my opinion, that's how you learn.
Right.
You know, if you're always just building in whatever your local show is, you never really pick up the innovation of what other people are doing.
Agree.
I started driving like in 96, 95, something like that. And thankfully, I was lucky enough in my career to be able to travel around and go to different shows. I've been to derbies in 17 different states, 18 different states. And, you know, I'm not saying I did any good at those shows, but I was there. And I saw the different ways things are built, and I was able to take those techniques back home, and you know, it opens up your eyes. You learn a whole other way of building cars by going to different places like that.
So true.
Well, that's Aaron Bunce, who was on a couple weeks ago. That's when they first started going out to Ohio in that way. You know, they were successful here. They went out there and got run over, and I mean, they'll tell you that. But then they started, you know, seeing how their cars were built and seeing how they were doing stuff. You know, that's how those guys have gotten so good. You know, guys, you know, Aaron doesn't run much anymore, but I mean, you know, if I was ever going to have anybody build a car, I'd have Aaron doing it in a heartbeat, just because, you know, he's seen it and he's done it. You know, Ben Haas is another guy. He's been to Ohio, he's been to Ohio and inspected. You know, Metal Mayhem, he's went out there before. Yeah, Blizzard Bash. You know, it just you go out there and you learn stuff.
But you know, also it's great. It's you also get contacts.
No, absolutely.
And then you have somebody. You know, somebody says, "Hey, you know, I know a lot about Chryslers. Next time you're working on one, give me a shout." And that part of it's fun too, to hear how a guy in Nebraska is telling you to tuck your trunk compared to a guy that's up this way or whatever. But it's nice having different contacts going different places. I enjoy that part of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. For sure.
We also,
hey, Bryan, sorry to cut you off there. You said something about, you know, those guys kind of traveled to different places early on, and they kind of got their butts handed to them. It made me laugh a little bit because in 1998, my dad and I loaded up a Chevy Malibu to go to Pontiac Silverdome at the Dent Show out there.
Yep.
And, you know, it's funny. It was a 16-hour drive to haul a car from here in New Hampshire out to Pontiac, Michigan. Now, my dad's an old-school driver. He drives stock cars. He doesn't really believe in welding them all up. And when he built his Dent car for 98, he grudgingly welded the driver's door, and that was it.
Yep.
He didn't put a cage in it. He referred to them as pussy bars. The car had floorboards that were so rusted that you could lay under the car and look up at the roof.
Nice.
And it was one of the harder cars we had built at the time. I mean, that's how far back we were in 98. And for 16 hours from New Hampshire to Michigan, we were trying to figure out what we're going to spend $10,000 on, because I mean they hadn't never seen a Steve Bucknam car, and they had never seen a driver like him. And man, we were just going to take home that money.
Yeah.
And we pulled into that place the next morning after we all got there. I said to my dad, I said, maybe we should just go home. We made a mistake. It's all right, And, the rest is history. He was one of the first cars out. He almost won a Mad Dog Award in his heat, but the officials were laughing at him because they went to inspect the car, and they were literally looking at each other from under the car and inside, Well,
and that was the thing is we'd heard of, Denton stuff around here, but all the shows were out west, like there was one in Ohio, and then they had, I think, 2 or 3 in Michigan there, and Ben and I had heard of them, and we'd always wanted to see them. Well, then they had one at Lebanon Valley, which is almost in Massachusetts, and we went down there, and we were both just in awe to see how stuff had been built, and it was definitely eye opening.
I ran in that show.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
Yeah, I won the Mad Dog Award at that show.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
It was a good time. We almost got taken out by a tornado.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Another guy who can tell us a little bit about some of the old days back with IDDA, Bo Lockwood, joining us now on the DerbyParts.com hotline. Bo, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you.
Great. We were talking a little bit as the conversation went about some of the different fairs who were or weren't listening to the other fairs that are being successful and that are playing in tune with the drivers. And we brought up your situation where with the growth of the Keystone Nationals, now you've got some other people in your area that are kind of paying attention to what you've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, it really is nice to see a bunch of shows, well, at least a bunch of fair boards in the area that are taking a little more of a professional approach to this. They're starting to notice that, it's not this big, just all out, bring a car to a derby and run anymore. They're starting to see that there is actually some rules to it, and you put a little organization to it, and you can have one heck of an event. And it's just nice to see that a lot of the fair boards, at least in this area, are starting to come around and show some interest.
The last time we talked, we alluded to the biggest thing was the rule change, getting away from the pro mods as being the headline class and paying the big money out to the limited well division. And how has that reception been? Has that momentum continued to grow? We've only been hearing good things about it.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with the perception of these rules. Yeah, I think it was needed. I mean, it's this area. I mean, and even stretching up north and down south. It's just what people want to build. I mean, we still allow you to do the competitive things, but at the same time, we're not going to allow you to go overboard. So it doesn't take 6-7 months to build a competitive car anymore. And I think all of our drivers, at least all of our faithful drivers, and we brought on unbelievable amounts of new drivers that are just they're happy. They like the way the rules are. I mean, I'm sure there's some things that they don't agree with, but hey, for the most part, everything's looking good.
What's been the biggest change since last we've spoke? I mean, have you ever been able to concrete anything in terms of sponsor-wise? Have you been able to, sort of nip something in the bud that you didn't expect coming? Has there been any challenges or any feedback from the drivers that have surprised you?
Well, I'll tell you what. When we took this and changed the format, I envisioned quite a few entries, but to be honest with you, I'm kind of blown away with the interest that we really are receiving. The biggest problem I'm going to have is coordinating the pits and getting everybody parked, and because it's nice, people will travel from all over, and when they travel, you want to make sure that they can get pitted with the people they travel with,
right?
It's
yes.
I mean, it's more of a good time in the pits too, just as much as it is on the track. So I need to make sure I can accommodate everybody's needs and wants in the pits and in the surrounding area. And when you get that many cars planning on cruising in, it might be a headache. I can promise you that.
It'd be a nice problem to have, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited. This is a challenge that I've wanted since the day I took over this show. And it's
awesome.
it's going to be all right. We got the fairgrounds there. The bad part is, I guess it's good and bad. I mean, for me, the bad part is it's during the county fair, so there's all kinds of stuff that's taking. There's things that don't pertain to the demolition derby that are taking space in the fairgrounds. And if this was just a standalone event out, on some other date, or I'd have the use of the entire fairground. So, the pits wouldn't be that big of a problem. But we'll make it work. We'll make do, and it won't be an issue. I can guarantee it.
So are your early projections coming anywhere close to realization?
They are. I'm excited. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun. The entries don't come out until January. We'll start getting entries in January, but from talks with my head inspector, Chris Furster, and guys across the country, really, that there's a lot of cars in the garages tonight getting welded on.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Josh wants to build a car, but he's not sure he can take something down there and compete.
No.
Hey, I've been on him for it's been a couple months now.
Yes,
since
you
the
have.
last talk.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to walk him through this. We're going to show the country that it can be done.
Steve, do you think that Josh could build a car to compete?
I really
think
do.
anybody
I
can
mean,
build a
I
car to
don't.
compete.
I've never personally met him, but I have followed some of the things he's done, and he knows what he's doing. It's no joke. Everybody knows that he knows what he's doing out there. It's just.
Thank you.
If he has some questions, this would be a perfect opportunity to prove it. I mean, if he has any questions about the build, the rules, anything, all you got to do is call us up, and we will answer any question. And probably Chris Furster, I know, will probably lead him in the direction that will have him thinking a million different ways for how to build a car and how to make it competitive.
It'll lead him to think about caddies. Brian said he's not gonna be able to build a car for that because it's Seneca County weekend and he wants to go pick the low hanging fruit over there and take the win. He said he pretty much guarantees it.
Oh wow!
Well,
everybody has their hometown favorite derbies, and
Thanks, Bo. I appreciate that. When we get done, I'm gonna have a heart to heart with Chris, but that's okay. It's all good.
If I can, let me say this, Chris.
Yeah.
As far as not being sure if you can build a car for this class or whatever, even if you're not sure, look at this weekend as a vacation. Take some time, just like you would, going somewhere with the family. Take them for the weekend. See some of the sites. Brookville's got a beautiful main street. Visit the fair. And, win, lose, or draw, you have the experience, you pick up some tips maybe, and you come back stronger for next year. That's how you're going to improve. You just look at it as some vacation time. Don't worry about the investment in the car. Just have a good time for the weekend and see what you do.
Well, we've seen that happen a couple times now with Hartford Fair. A couple of guys that were new over there that built a car for the first time, and they came back the following year, and they came back stronger, and they've put together some pretty good runs.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I see a lot of that happen, and it's been a golden rule that if you're going to be the best or, just compete at that level, you got to first run with the best.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that is the only way you're going to get better. I mean, you can stay at your local county fairs and do well and have a very good career out of it, and a very enjoyable career out of it. But if you're looking to take it just to that next level, just a little bit, hey, you gotta bite the bullet and you got to stick your nose in there. And the nice thing is, even the drivers, I'll bet you 90% of them down there, you just go out to talk to any of them, and they're going to help you out. They're going to give you advice, and it's going to be in the right direction. It really is.
That's the thing about the bigger shows, I think, or just the few that I've been going to. It's a different mentality than the county fairs. I mean, everyone seems just in a better mood. It's more of a fun atmosphere. Everyone's ready to have a good time. It's not, I don't know, maybe it's me, but it seems like our county fairs around here, it's a lot of bickering, a lot of upset, and it's only for $500 or $1,000.
Yeah.
But when you go to these bigger shows, like guys just start talking to you about their cars, or how they did this and how they did that. I love that camaraderie of it.
You know what I really think it is at the bigger shows. I mean, let's be honest. If you go to a Blizzard Bash, to be there, you have to have good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, and if you're going there, with an idea to win, you have to have the best stuff. Well, you go to a county fair, and you pull in, and you've got some nice stuff, and, some guys don't. They don't they haven't had the money. So, some guys are jealous, some guys are pissed off, whatever you want to say about it. And I think that's where some of the bad feelings come in. The bigger shows, everybody's got the good stuff. Everybody's, but at the smaller shows, some guys do and some guys don't, and I think that's where a lot of it comes from.
For whatever reason, it seems like at the smaller shows or at the county level, everybody has something to hide. Seriously,
no, you're so right.
I'm not trying to implicate anybody as a cheater or anything like that. But at the bigger shows, they all pretty much have it. It's on the table. If you want to know,
all the cars are built the same.
Yeah, in theory, they're all built the same.
But it also comes to a respect issue, probably with the promoters. You go to a bigger show, you respect them. You're not going to push the rules. As far as when you go to your county fair, I mean, I haven't read my county fair rules in at least 6 or 7 years. I probably shouldn't say that, but I have not. I have not read even the rules. I just show up, and
Steve,
I guess that's a respect.
That?
That's a respect thing, I guess. It's my brother that's a promoter, by the way. I don't even read his rules.
You don't even talk to him.
No, I don't.
A lot of love there.
Yeah. Well, we see that respect a lot, too, at Brookville, at the Keystone Nationals. I mean, you'll get guys, most of my drivers they've been great. I mean, we expect you to try to push the limits a little bit. We expect you to build a creative car, and get a little bit of an edge, as long as it's within your means and within our rules. But for the most part, I mean, these guys every year right to the rules. I mean, on average, you'll fail inspection once. We got to get you cut down to where you have to be, or if you try to do something a little extra, we're going to find it. But for the most part, I mean, guys have been great. I mean, they're not pushing the envelope like they have in the past. That's for sure. At least that's what I've seen.
Well, it shows that you're doing a good job.
We appreciate that.
No, it does. I mean, if you weren't, then you'd have the opposite. You'd
Yeah,
have guys
everybody
coming
be
in with plate.
overbuilding.
And I mean, you can see where the good promoters are by what's showing up at their shows.
I mean, I'm looking forward to just being trackside for the pre-race show or the post-race show. We're taping it.
It's exciting.
Get the next issue of Derby Inc. magazine. There's a couple different full-page ads for Keystone Nationals. It's got some information about it. To start the limited weld feature, Steve can clarify this if I missed it. I think it's $400 just to start.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's great.
$400 to start. That's pretty cool.
Now, real quick, Bo, there's a stock class in there too, right? I watched, I think Mike from Mad Mike's Derby Shop put last year's stock class, and that looked good. That heat looked good. I'd like to run that. You're still having that this year, correct?
Absolutely, we're still having that.
Yeah, so for any of the guys that are worrying about being overbuilt, that might be, maybe it's smarter to go into the stock build the first year just to see what's going to be there, because you don't really care about your car as much. And then, go to the stock class, run that, and then maybe next year step it up. For anyone that's thinking of going out there, that's probably what I would do if I go out there.
I mean, absolutely. That stock class, I mean, and it's not even intended, to be a lesser of a class, or, for guys that, that don't feel that they can run with the big guys. That stock class is competitive in its own right as well. I mean, but the nice thing about it is you don't have to roll in there with a big motor,
Right.
all the big stuff to run these limited weld classes. You can come in as a county fair, champion, and probably do very well at this stock class. And the rules are nice. It's simple. You can read them, and it just basically spells it out. Don't go over them, and it's meant to be a real easy, real quick build, and get together for a one-shot deal and make it happen.
Is there a cutoff on that field?
20 cars.
20. So, Josh.
20 cars.
get your
The
stuff together.
first 20 cars that come in is the first 20 entries that come in are the ones that we'll take.
And like last year, how fast did that fill up?
We didn't have a cap on it last year, because since we were running 3 classes, there were supposed to be 3 one-shot deals, but we actually in the limited weld we had more cars than expected, so we ended up running heats. But I don't know the final numbers. Steve might know a little bit better than I do, but we had a pretty good field of stock cars.
I don't have it on top of my head. You put me on the spot.
But that's a one-run deal, or is that a heat and feature?
That'll be a one-run deal.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then
I love that.
Mike DeFrecia, he had a weird situation shakedown with Tiffany Hahn. Steve and I was talking about that leading up to the program.
Yeah, I don't know if Bo wants to touch on this. I know there was maybe a little bit of controversy about it.
Let me interrupt you quick. Let me qualify this. I don't mean this is a bad thing, Steve. I mean this is something that's a little bit of a positive. The promoter did the right thing and is able to walk away from a situation that could have been bad that ended on a positive note.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mike DeFrecia, Mad Mike, he put on a heck of a show in that Cadillac. Metric GM out there with a bunch of full-size 70s cars and stuff, and former All-Star Tiffany Hahn, she's a former winner of the stock class. She lost her steering, she got stuck in a corner, but those guys that were out there with her didn't get away from her, and she was still running and moving, trying to get out of the corner, and every now and then somebody would drive into her path and she'd make a legal hit, and she was barely on the edge of staying legal, but she was legal. And man, Mike drove his butt off. And the way things fell down is he ended up in 4th place, which technically is outside of the money. But, the officials all got together, Bo got together, and they said, hey, he put on a show, he earned some scratch, and, Bo handed him a check at the end of the night. I think that's part of the reason why I really enjoy working for this show and working for Bo, because he truly is, in it for the drivers and for the show itself. And I think actions like handing a check to a 4th place guy for the effort that he put in, it shows that.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
That's definitely great.
That is awesome.
I appreciate that, guys. I do. It's just it felt at that point it felt like it was needed. You know, when you have a finish that comes that close, it comes that close. It could have went either way, and obviously half the crowd saw it one way, and the other half saw it the other way. And you just have to make that decision. You really. I felt we placed the cars right, but at the same time, he earned it. He absolutely earned some extra money, and I think we ended up paying him third place money as well. It's just it just had to happen. There's no.
But that's the thing. I mean, by doing that, I mean you've probably secured yourself a driver for life. I mean that's by supporting him. I mean he's going to continue to support you. I mean that's that's how things are taken care of, and that's how our bonds are kind of made.
Yeah, absolutely. I really don't see how it should have went any other way. It's just nice to have it. It's nice to have a mutual respect between myself and my crew guys and the drivers. It's a good atmosphere, and I really enjoy it. I really do.
Absolutely.
And guys are going to be willing to drive hard for you later on, just because they know that you'll take care of them in that situation or something like that. But guys aren't going to be scared to go out there and run hard. What, is my camera all screwed up again?
Yeah,
stop touching it.
I don't know what you did. I think you kicked it or something.
I can't reach it.
Yeah, your foot can.
Oh, he's got those short, stubby legs.
Mad Mike's Derby Shop is going to be featured on. I can't remember the name of the program now. On Great American Country.
Oh, yeah.
On the 19th.
Yeah, I just saw it advertised. What if this happened or something like that, or what if it happened to you? Or I saw it advertised, and I just saw a little bit of the show on.
Mike seems like a good guy.
Mike is a real good dude.
Yeah,
he is. I've talked to him a lot. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
most Derby guys are good guys.
All except for Brian Tompkins.
I was gonna say Decker, but Steve, man, what's up? Us Husky guys got to stick together, brother.
No one's sticking with you, dude.
You're throwing it at me. What's up with that?
You're a man with no friends.
Real drivers stick together.
So what are you doing there, Decker?
Wow.
Hey, not to take too much time, I know we don't want to really go in deep on Clarion because it is a different show, but they're kind of tied together. And Bo, maybe if you're prepared, maybe you can talk about how they tie together as far as entry deadlines and things like that with Keystone Nationals and Clarion.
Yeah, the nice thing about Clarion is it's the Saturday after the Keystone Nationals. So any driver that's going to have a car left over, they're going to have a place to run this build style, and same inspection crews, same everything, just 1 week later. The nice thing is it's only about, I'd say, 20 minutes to a half hour down the road. It is a county fair, so one thing we're going to do to try to protect the drivers of the county fair is from January 1st to February 1st, they are going to be able to send their entries in before anybody else. This show, I believe it caps off at 30 cars. We will not accept any more than 30 cars. It's a limited weld rules. And so from January 1st to February 1st, only locals that have ran Clarion County for the past 5 years can enter this show. After February to March, anybody from the Keystone Nationals, anybody that is registered for the Keystone Nationals, they're open to register. And I do believe it'll fill right at that point, but if we get past the Keystone Nationals round, then it goes to the public, and we'll fill it up from there. But I'm anxious for this show too. It's just like Brookville. I mean, Brookville has got a little bit bigger payout, but the same deal in Clarion. Every spot in the feature is paid, and I think dead last in the feature, I think even it's $100 at Clarion.
Nice.
That's nice. That's good payout.
Looking to be another scrap fest, that's for sure.
Where can we find out more?
We'll find out. I have it posted right now under We Crash in the. It's not in the national events thread. It's under I guess it's the Eastern Regional thread. It says it's right under. It says Clarion County, Pennsylvania, and all the information you can find out is right on there.
And for the Keystone Nationals, we're online. I think you guys got a Facebook page now.
Yeah, the Keystone Nationals has a Facebook page. I'm not up on how. You guys might know better than I do. I know it's under Keystone Nationals, but to be able to link it to Facebook, I don't know how you word that. I'm not that up on this stuff yet.
Chris could probably do it.
We'll find it for you, Bo. We'll post it for you.
I know it's all.
There you go.
I know it's all out there. I tried to set it up for them, but they gotta fix the link on it because right now it's still got the string of numbers. They've got enough likes now to where they can go through and make it a dedicated page, so it'll have its name eventually. Once we get it all straightened out, it'll be facebook.com/Keystone Nationals. Everything will work out just fine. Go online, go onto Facebook, search it. There's a whole community there, and that'll get you all the information that you need. Keystone Nationals online. Bo, I appreciate you taking some time out. Anybody else you want to recognize before we let you go?
Well, 100% Redline Derby engines. I mean, that guy is Brent Johnson. He is sponsoring us and behind us 100% for the Keystone Nationals this year. He is everything he can do, and even from funding just to straight out helping my drivers with parts and helping with their motors just to get to the Keystone Nationals. That guy's a class act. So Redline Derby engines for sure. You got to look him up.
Excellent.
I gotta buy one of these nasty motors. Everybody's buying these nasty motors. It's upsetting me. I need one.
But you're gonna have a nasty motor to drive around and not hit anybody.
It just has to be a nice, smooth run motor from Redline. You'll be good to go.
Nice.
There you go. Well, Bo, we sure do appreciate it. We got Steve Cioppa coming up here in just a minute or two, and we appreciate you taking some time out and hanging out with us here on the Crash Course.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nice
Thanks a lot,
man. You know, it's tough hearing about all these shows all the time because, like, as I listen, then I'm like thinking, all right, what car do I pull out of the yard? What do I pull out for this
Dude,
one?
you're going to be touring nationally. You're not even,
I can't wait.
Your local fans aren't even going to be able to see you this summer.
Forget them.
That's not the right attitude.
That boy.
They've seen enough of me. They're sick of me. I'm going other places.
Yeah, you're right there.
Now, there's so many cool places to go. Like, I get all excited because then I'm like thinking, all right, this would be awesome to go down to. And it sounds great.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really want. July is so packed for me.
Yeah, it is.
I could run a derby every day in July,
Yeah.
but I almost want to.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds like a good time. I want to go to Kentucky. I want to go to Virginia. There's so many places I want to go right now.
If you just convince your boss to pay you to build derby cars and wreck stuff, as opposed to selling stuff, you'd be golden, buddy.
I know. I got to start paying someone under the table or something to build cars for me. I can't do it myself. I don't have enough time.
It's so funny. You want to go to Virginia, and you want to go to Kentucky, and you want to go to Kansas. Well, we've been to Kansas, and we're going back to Kansas, and we're going to go to Kentucky in January, and we're going to go to Minnesota. And
No,
we're
I want
to
to
go
be there
Virginia.
with a derby car. I want to run a car.
Well,
I know. I'm working on it
you
right
need to
now.
just
I'm working
slow
on
down, and it'll go faster. Joining us on the DerbyParts.com hotline, we've got Steve Cioppa, one of the all-stars down there.
Nice.
And the Keystone Nationals, past winner, in his own right, excellent driver in the Pro Mod division, and now making the transition to Limited Weld. Steve, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Heard you couldn't chat too much last night because you were busy.
Yeah, I went to the Steeler game and froze our asses off.
I don't know, man. I think it would have been a good time to hang out at that Steelers game. They were looking like they were doing all right.
Oh, it was a great game. They looked good. Too bad they didn't look that good earlier in the year.
Right.
Well, how are things looking in terms of bending some metal at the Keystone Nationals for you?
Say that again.
How are things looking for the Keystone Nationals for you?
Keystone Nationals looking good. I mean, I'm taking a wagon. It's no secret. I'm going to stick with the old cars because I think that's what's going to take it this year. So, not anything against Pete Hansen, but I think it was a fluke. A new car won it last year.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's what I like to hear.
You hear that, Pete? Well, that's cool.
I like
Nothing
it.
against Pete. He's a good driver. He builds
Absolutely.
a good car, but yeah, I think the old cars are going to take back over this year coming up. From what I understand, there's a lot of them coming.
That's awesome.
Are you looking forward to the Limited Weld build? You're not going to have to put quite as much time investment into building it, or are you going to have to put more time in to make the weak part stronger?
I like the limited weld because it's definitely an easier build. I think it's more competitive than, anybody could just keep adding stuff to make a car strong. But if you can make one strong at a limited weld and make it competitive like that, I just think it's just a whole better class.
Yeah.
And you guys are no strangers to Imperials running those in the Pro Mod division, but you're also no stranger to those round back wagons either.
Not at all. That's what we're bringing 3 wagons to that derby.
That's awesome. Now, I've seen some good. You guys put some great videos up. I've watched, I think, all of your videos many times. Some great videos. I mean, you were doing in cars like when it just come out, and they were awesome to watch. I just wanted to say that I've watched them all. I think a couple times.
Yeah, that's all Todd. Todd does all the editing, and him and his girl. But those in-car GoPro cameras they're awesome. I mean, I think those are the best thing to come out especially for derbies.
Absolutely.
It gives you like a driver's point of view.
Yep.
It's fun to go back into a GoPro after you've derbied and then go watch your video, and you realize that you didn't remember anything that happened, or you don't remember how it happened actually.
That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, they're definitely the best camera out for derbies. I mean, they're fun to watch.
Sure.
Yep.
It actually gets your blood when you're watching it, like almost like you're in the car.
Oh, definitely. I turn the lights off, turn the volume up on my big screen, and I'm just blaring
you just need somebody to throw mud at you once in a while. It'd be golden. Just
That's awesome.
A couple handfuls of mud.
I should just put my helmet
just like
on
you there, man.
in
It'd
my
be
living
great.
room.
You know, wave
You
away,
put your helmet on in your living room?
Yeah, I just put my helmet on and my goggles. And
wave,
then,
wave away the official you're trying to not pay attention to, telling you to hit harder.
yeah, I don't pay attention to them.
Brett said not to.
That's really getting into it there.
I'm hardcore.
What was
Sorry to cut you off. Steve Cioppa on the line here, part of the Sioppa family dynasty at Brookville. All three Sioppas, Mark, Steve, and Todd, Brookville All-Stars. Todd, an All-Star for kind of a strange reason in 2013, won the Limited Weld Showstopper Award and then literally stopped the show when officials had to make a call to toss him off the track. And Sioppa's been pretty good-natured about that. Didn't know if maybe Steve wanted to talk about that at all.
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. I don't want to get involved with that one. There's two sides to every story, and I'm in the middle. So.
Well, you guys do have quite the legacy out there. I mean, I've seen you run out there a number of different times, and I love watching you guys run. Not only just watching the stuff that you put up on the in-cars. I know there's some talk that you guys are going to be traveling outside of the state. If you want to take a minute to touch on that again, we'd certainly appreciate it if you want to get into that. But also just watching you guys run and the quality of build, you will not believe these cars when they run in the Pro Mod division. These things were beautiful. I mean, they were works of art, and now to have that just coming into this common pool with the Limited Weld group is going to be outstanding. I can't wait to see these wagons out there, and we sure look forward to talking to one of you guys at some point during the live broadcast when we're down there in Brookville.
Oh, that'll be great. And I think this show is going to be the biggest Brookville ever. I hear a lot of feedback. There's people coming from all over for this one, and I think it's because of the Limited Weld that it's not that crazy of a build. No Imperials, which I think is a show killer, but I love them. But definitely going to be the biggest Brookville show of all time, I think.
Steve, if you had a choice, would you run Imperials or run them clamshells?
I would run if we were allowed Imperials, that's what I'd be running.
Definitely.
Nice. Absolutely.
Good to hear.
That's the only way to go.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Mike Henshaw doesn't think so, but that's the only way to go. He's still with the 80s cars, which, I'll turn him one day.
Right.
Sioppa's built some of the baddest Imperials I've seen in a long time, too, so I can understand that decision.
Yeah.
It does make it an easy one to get away from. I mean, was it hard to come up with a round back that you wanted to run, or is there something that you had laying around that you were just itching for a chance to build and these rules fit?
So we had the cars were taken. They've been sitting around. We've been doing a couple of the bigger shows like the Bash, and a couple of years back we did Metal Mayhem. So the cars are sitting from then, but this one come up and we like the wagons. We know how to build the wagon, so that's what we're taking. From what I hear, there's some 80s cars coming, but I heard there's going to be a lot of Cadillacs. It's going to be a good show with just a mix of everything. And
you guys are talking about going to the Bash again this year?
Yeah, we'll be at the Bash. In fact, that's the cars we're working on right now. Get those out of the way, and then we're going to start on the Brookville cars.
How many cars do you pump out of your shop through the course of a season?
I'd say 2 to 3, really. Because it's you got to do every little detail on a car nowadays. I mean, you can't just churn them out like you used to back in the day. We used to do 5 or 6 in a season back. When you didn't have to do too much, but now that all the tricks and all the ups and downs with the new technology with the cars, I'm lucky if I get 3.
You considering running any of the postseason shows? I know we had the opportunity to go out to Blizzard Bash in November. We've also got the Sturgis show that's coming up in January. You guys give any thought to running sort of outside season and doing any of this indoor stuff?
We definitely talk about it. It's just being busy with me and Todd. We have our own businesses. I mean, it's just tough. And, we got help, Mark Burrows, and like I said, Mike Henshaw. Those guys all help, but it's still tough to get all these cars ready. It's I think we got 4 derbies on tap. which we're going to run for sure this year. But after those ones, we'll see what happens.
Steve, do you ever get burned out where you guys like talk about stepping back and kind of going to county fairs where you could run 7-8 cars or one car 5 times, or do you guys just love building one crazy car and wrecking it in a weekend?
I like to just build. I like the competition. I like the bigger shows. I like when the bigger name guys are there, and you could test your skills and building skills, driving skills. That's what I like. I like getting up for the big shows. Those are the ones I like.
Steve, do you guys build your own motors too, or do you guys buy motors?
No, we buy. I have a Redline, which is one of the baddest motors. It sounds badass. It just runs ice cold. Good motor. And Todd, he runs a Baldwin motor. Yep. So, and then we always go back and forth which one's better. But then it comes down to driving, and then he don't have a chance.
That's what I like to hear. That's awesome.
Baldwin motor. You hear that, Josh? Baldwin motor.
I love them Baldwins.
That name just keeps coming up and it's haunting you.
That one that they're making now is like $13,000. Baldwin is just impressive out there.
Yeah, they're good motors. I mean, they're all which I think it's just your preference.
Yeah.
I think they all end up doing the same thing in the long run, and then it's just which one which name you like better is what it is. I've had great success with the Redline. It runs good. Brett's a good guy to deal with, and I like the Redlines.
Yeah, it's cool.
How can you go wrong?
No.
We're
if I can ask a question.
Go.
To Steve, I just want to know, for the last 2 years, I've had dinner in your pit box after the Derby. You guys really put a lot of effort into being hospitable and providing a lot of stuff for the drivers. Just kind of wanted to kind of get your take on, what's the thought process that goes into that, and what does it mean to you guys to spend that kind of money to feed 50, 60, 70 people after a show?
It's just Derby drivers in general. All Derby drivers are good-hearted guys. I mean, they'll go out of their way to help you. I mean, I just think it's more like a brotherhood. It's like I don't want to say cult, but that's probably what it's like. I mean, we're like a cult. I mean, we just, and it's all Derby drivers. Anywhere you go, everybody seems to be. Every once in a while, you get a bad apple where the guy's kind of like a jerk. But other than that, I mean, even going, when we went to Mayhem, we got Derby friends all over the country now. I mean, it's like a brotherhood. I like it.
It's awesome. It really is cool to talk to people from different states, different areas, and really now new technology lets you talk to. How would you talk to guys in Kansas? But now I got guys texting me every night in Kansas, and I don't know. I love where the sport is going right now.
Yeah, definitely
in the right direction.
Right. The internet definitely made the country smaller, and I think it's just a tight knit Derby community, and that's what I like about it. I enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that helps us really is that, I mean, let's be honest, Derby has always been kind of looked down as a motorsport. I mean, racers kind of look down on us and, other people, and we kind of all got to stick together because, I mean, this is, we're the only ones that support each other, and I mean, if we can, as a whole community, if we can come together and, make it big, I mean, sooner or later, somebody's going to have to start paying attention and, we should be getting some of the big sponsors and big money that, we really deserve. I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there for, oil additives and this additives and stuff that do that. And where else, to show what your product can do than some derbies, hey, look.
Speedway Motors had a Derby car on the cover of their magazine. Speedway Motors and O'Reilly Auto Parts were big supporters of Blizzard Bash. And now Redline Engines is jumping behind Redline, jumping behind Keystone Nationals like that.
But I mean, there's national, I mean, O'Reilly, it's great that they're doing it, but I mean, there's other national,
Napa Auto Parts presenting Winter Slam February 8th. The week after that, we'll be live at the Owego Derby Party February 15th at the Treadway Inn.
There you go. So, I just, sooner or later, if we stick together as a community, nationwide, I mean, we make enough noise, I think people are going to have to recognize what's going on.
Redline Motors will help make that noise.
Exactly. Yeah. It definitely went to a whole new level with all the technology and the thought that, people can't believe what we do to crash a car. You know,
money they get spent.
crazy.
Well, it's
They can't believe it.
in your small towns, there's only a couple guys in each town, and like me personally, I start sometimes thinking like, you are really nuts how much you think about derbying. But then you start talking to other guys across the country, and it's like, maybe I'm not so nuts.
Yeah,
there's a lot of nuts guys out there. You start realizing that you're okay. You're kind of normal.
It's like a meeting. It's like one of those,
like
those
an AA
support
meeting.
clubs.
Yeah.
If we all just admit we have the same addiction, we'll be golden.
That's funny. That's funny.
Derby, and when Derby
Hey,
guys
Steve,
get together,
you took the win home in
I was
2011 and took third last year.
it's about the
And
same.
of course, Mark's got
Over the same
two
thing.
wins under his belt. Any predictions for 2014?
For Brookville,
Yeah. Any predictions from your camp for 2014?
yeah, I'm going to win that thing.
There you go.
Nice.
Good answer.
Yeah,
Good answer.
Good answer.
baby blue in the house.
No flat tires this time. I'm winning this one this year. I'm putting it out there.
That's awesome.
Well, you're certainly going to be one that everybody's going to pay a lot of attention to. We look forward to seeing some of that hot rod footage from at the Bash and also from at the Keystone Nationals, and we certainly look forward to catching up with you down there when we do that live show trackside pre-race and post-race.
Absolutely.
Steve, we appreciate you taking some time out. We got Bryan Bowman coming up here on the DerbyParts.com hotline in just a few moments. SioppaRacing.com is the place where you can go, and you can find pretty much all the footage and links to all that other stuff. You got to go check it out. Some of the best footage you'll find.
So, Brian, I never got to thank you for letting them have second.
I'll let him know.
There goes my bullseye on my back.
We sure do appreciate it, Steve. Thanks a lot.
All right, no problem. Thanks.
Take care.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
How cool is it to just get big names calling in here every week? I mean, that guy's had some. Really, the iron they build is for real.
Oh,
and when he says they're doing every little detail, when you look at their iron, he's being serious.
Yeah.
They're not slacking anywhere.
No.
They're not leaving head visors in like I do.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures of that. That's
You hear that,
pretty
Aaron
cool.
Bunce?
Yeah.
I hate Aaron Bunce.
I'll tell you guys, the Sioppas in general, they get together and they bring three of the meanest cars to just about every show they pull into.
Yep. That's they have definitely. I've seen some just real nice iron of theirs, and their motors are nasty. I mean, and they run them well.
I saw him at the Bash, when I was out there. But just to see, like the pictures on We Crash when they're loading up and going someplace. I mean, their stuff is just
It's nice.
Oh.
Yeah, it's for real. It makes you jealous.
absolutely.
Joining us on the DerbyParts.com hotline, got about 13 minutes left of episode number 12 of the Crash Course. We've got Bryan Bowman, runner-up in the Keystone Nationals. We just got off the line with Steve Cioppa. He wanted us to remind you that he let you have second. Bryan, we appreciate you joining us on the show.
Steve likes to dream a lot. Thinks it's funny, but like Henshaw and I said, I'll be up in the back of that wagon cruising around. No, Steve's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. I helped him out at Mayhem. Yeah, we've just been friends a long time. He's a good dude.
That's cool.
Are you looking forward to the limited world program over there at the Keystone Nationals this year?
Oh, definitely. It's definitely going to be bigger than it ever was. I gave them guys a hand a few years ago officiating. I just kind of helped out a little bit, and then I got in the action last year, and I had a blast. It was the best derby I ever ran.
That's great.
It was a pretty good finish over there. And what's your plans for this coming year? You got any predictions? You going to be able to follow up Steve's prediction?
I don't know. I'll try like hell. There's some tough competition, but I don't get too excited as long as I have fun.
And what's your car of choice, Brian? What's your plan on taking out there?
I'm taking a new style. I'm taking an 01 Vic.
Nice.
Does it have a red line engine in it?
Yep, it's at Brent's right now getting freshened up.
Nice.
It was a little hot after last year. I'm sure you've seen the pictures.
It got warm.
Nice.
It's a little warm. I was running it hard.
Nice.
It melted down. Was that the one that melted down 3 pistons?
I hope not.
No, it wasn't.
I hope not 3 pistons, or I might not be there this year.
Yeah, that would be an expensive fix.
Yes. No, we'll get her back together. Brent's a good dude. He's always taking care of me. I'm sure he'll fix her up right.
It's excellent. We're sure looking forward to coming down there and being having a bigger part in the Keystone Nationals this year. And And
Definitely.
we're doing the pre-race and post-race show down there in addition to doing all the taping with Smashed Empire Films. And SB Motorsports Announcing, he's going to be up there on the stage doing his thing. He's hanging out with us now. Steve told me a little bit about you and about your career down there. It's interesting that you've gone the opposite direction, the way that a lot of drivers have. You've gone from inspecting to driving, whereas most guys go from driving to inspecting. Or, excuse me, officiating into driving.
Yeah, a couple years ago, Bo asked me if I'd be interested in giving them guys a hand, and I did. It's just I'd rather run than do that because I don't know. I'd see things and just it looks good because I want to do it too. So it was tough for me to a little biased too. I'd rather not be involved in that. I'd rather just run.
That's a good answer.
Very good answer.
Good answer.
I think they call that honesty. That's good.
That's awesome.
good.
I guess so. I just see things welded, and I'm like, well, that's a damn good idea. I'd do that too. Let this guy go.
Yeah, you can't blame a guy for ingenuity. You gotta get pat him on the back. Way to go.
But, hey, if you can sneak it by, do it, right?
Absolutely.
Steve, what's your take on
that?
that?
I think Bryan will probably back me up on this as far as inspections go. The officials that Bo puts together for inspections, they're top-of-the-line officials. And they're not like these guys that they're not just out to, like, catch you doing something bad and make you feel bad about it. They want to look at your build. They want to see how creative you were. And if it's something that impresses them, they tell you. If they see something that they think you maybe could have done a little bit better and still within the rules, they'll actually point that out to you so you can build a harder car for next year. It'd be interesting to hear what Bryan has to think of being on both sides of that.
That was exactly it. I felt that Brookville was very fair when it came to everything. All the cars were pretty much fair, and actually Toby gave me a couple pointers with my steering while I was getting inspected, and I actually fixed it before I even ran. But everybody, they all will help you out. I mean, they're not dicks about it. They'll help you, and if they see something that they want to, might give you a little advantage or some other guy doesn't have, they'll tell you.
That's cool.
Is that something that after your car goes through tech, they point out something to you that they say, you know what, you can go a little bit further with this? Will they let you go back and do that, or once you go through tech, is it pretty much hands off?
See, I don't know from that point. I mean, they just made me cut some things, and then I had a question about my steering, and Toby just showed me. He's like, you can slide this up a little bit. He's like, I worry your steering's going to pull out. Why don't you move that a little bit? And, I mean, I wouldn't even have noticed, and he noticed it and pointed it out, and right there helped me. Just little things.
That's what the sport needs. I mean,
yeah.
Really, to go to all these tracks and
inspectors that aren't assholes,
but they drive you nuts. And again, like he's saying, that they're not on your side. Not that you need them to be on your side, but at least in the same thought process as you, looking at it and saying, all right, yes or no. But you at least know where they're coming from a driver's side, because
absolutely.
A lot of these guys, like Stoney Roberts, you go to their shows and they're telling you to take wheel weights off and dumb things, and it's like, why are we listening to this guy? He's never derbied before. But it's good to have these guys that know what they're talking about.
Hey, at least when you have the wheel weights off, that's
well, I actually put wheel weights on, because then they tell you to take them off and they miss half the other stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. Was that a trick?
Yeah.
Do you go so far as to spray paint them orange so that they really zero in on them?
That's
all they look for.
The side of it, they put it on. He can make sure he gets it on the tire.
Yeah. You don't worry about breaking an axle when your wheel goes out of balance?
He doesn't spin his wheels fast enough to
I don't
shimmy.
press the gas. Right.
Hey, Bryan, did I see right online that you bought a house this year, or you're in the process of buying a house?
Yes, correct. I'm supposed to close December 31st, so that's a little drawback of my building. My girlfriend wants me to do some home improvements, and I have to run 220 out to the new garage. So I might be a little underbuilt this year, but I'm going to try like hell to have it up to par. But I'm sure with some help from a couple of my buddies, I'll be able to be there.
Congratulations, man.
Hey, and just
Thank you.
remember, when it comes to honeydews lists, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is permission. So you just go ahead and work on that derby car.
She was cool with it. We just actually got off the phone a little bit ago arguing because I said I wanted to get some extra money rounded up to start working on the car, and she said, I don't care what you do. So that pretty much gave me the
Perfect. Good answer.
That's trouble.
Great
That's
answer.
trouble.
Good answer.
I bet she cares what you do.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
That just open it up. Order that second red line motor you want. And then, if one goes down, you got one to drop in. You're good.
Yeah. I told her I'll work on the house after work at night and on Saturdays, but Sunday's my day. I'm locking myself in the garage all day and night, so that way I can get the car done.
Great answer.
Absolutely.
Ryan, who won the argument on where the trophies go? Are they going in the living room, or did she win?
Oh, they're going in the living room along with the deer heads.
There you go.
Nice.
Josh has a deer head he likes to show off.
Yeah, I got a big deer head, but it's actually at my parents' house. My old lady doesn't want. Yeah, she bitches about it.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Sorry to interrupt, guys. You have a buck that's in the Big Buck Club.
Yeah.
New York State record.
Yeah.
And your old lady.
My dad loves that deer. I think my dad
Wait a minute.
with it at night.
Don't change the subject. You're telling me that you don't have the testicular fortitude to hold the New York State record buck up and put it on the wall in your house.
It's been in my house, but we took it down, and now it's at my dad's house.
It was in his house while it was in the freezer.
Okay. So everybody out there hears that we know who wears the pants at Decker's house.
I don't care. I'm going to punch you right in the face. Let's talk about Derby.
I love
spiraling
twisting you up, buddy.
Are you going to, Brian, do you plan on maybe making it over to Clarion County the week after?
If there's anything left, unless something breaks stupid, I highly doubt there'll be any car left because it's the way these shows are nowadays. I don't know how these guys get multiple runs out of their car. They must not be. They're either braking real early or they're loaded up because I know I did the best of my ability to do a car, and after Brookville, my thing was hosed. I wanted to take it to our local county fair just to have fun, and it was entirely too much work. But if there is something left, I'll be there.
There was a debate raging on the Northeast demo Facebook page about how getting 10 runs out of a car is I don't know if it's necessarily a point of pride or what it was, but it certainly was a conversation that went on for quite some time, and I kind of like Brian's perspective on that. You get 1-2 runs out of a car, you're doing something. Because in the heart of Derby, if you're driving it in the heart, really in the intention, in the spirit of the game, there shouldn't be anything left. Because if everybody is built to the same rules, unless something stupid happens time and time again that allows you to bring that car back repeatedly, it should be, in theory, used up.
Good point, but that's when they last. I would say your car's going to get used up if you're a guy that's going to make it to the end. You got to think when a Derby, if there's 40 cars there, only a couple guys make it to the end. Everyone else lost for something stupid, most likely. So there are a lot of times where guys will get multiple runs out of a car, but what Chris is saying, there's guys a lot of times will come up to you and they're like, I ran that Newport 10 times, and you're hearing them say that saying, well, obviously you suck.
Yeah.
You're not saying you're a great driver. You're like, you suck because you weren't able to keep it running long enough. And I think any guy that's driven long enough understands that. I mean, I've had cars that run good 10 times, and it's because I hated that car, and it was bad luck all the time.
A good example is and I don't mean to pick out of Jason Bellis, with that pain in the ass Cadillac that he cannot get rid of, and Steve Lanen's in the situation too out in Dunkirk. He's got this Crown Victoria that it just won't die. He can't get rid of it. He can't get around the corner to kill it and finish it off. So this year it's probably going to be a heat car for him this year, and that'll probably be the last run on it. But we've seen Imperials out in Dunkirk that have run 13, 14 times.
Well,
but those don't really count.
And those ones out there are not quite stock, I think, correct?
No. But at the same time, it's the fine detail kind of stuff that takes them out that allows you to run them that many times. Because if you're paired against 10 cars built the same way,
right,
all things equal, if you don't do something stupid, get hung up, break an axle, dead battery, whatever, it's going to it might come back and run a second time. It's still an Imperial, but it's not going to be running 3-4 times. No way.
No, I agree with that.
Steve, any thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not going to go further into what I've already recapped 100 times online, but you guys made all the points I was trying to get at. But if I could make a good point, you spelled Brian's name wrong on the
I did?
Bottom of the page there. He's fancy. He uses a Y in his name.
Brian with an I, and mine's Brian with a Y.
Oh, sorry about that. Did I do it on the video too?
If he would have named me a junior, I would have killed him. So we're good there.
All right, well.
Hey, Bowman, real quick, you travel in a lot of Derby circles. Have you heard of anybody new that's coming out to Keystone Nationals this year? Anybody that hasn't run there before is coming?
I see a little bit of talk on Facebook, but I've heard that the past 5 years that people were coming and then nobody ever shows up except
couple guys that you know will be there. I know there will be some guys from my area that's coming. The Quinslers are coming. My best friend, Joe Spatero, he was there last year. He'll be running. I'm sure there'll be some new faces there. A lot of guys down in our area sparked interest last year after we all went up there. But it'll be a good show. I think there's going to be a lot of guys, and I look forward to seeing what happens.
Well, Bryan, we appreciate you taking some time out of your day and coming out here and hanging out with us on the crash course. We look forward to seeing you down there July 19th. And if you can break away, come on up for that Derby party February 15th in Owego at the Treadway.
Hey, definitely, guys. Appreciate it. Looking forward to meeting you guys.
Oh, we'll be down there for sure. Thanks again. That's Bryan with a Y. If you want to find him on Facebook, he'll accept your friend request. He won't turn you in for harassment.
We'll see you guys.
See you, Bryan.
Thanks a lot, Bryan.
Bye-bye.
Hey, while we talk about that, what are you talking about next? I want to talk real quick about that Derby Banquet. For anybody listen, that Derby Banquet, every single time, I've been there every year. It is awesome. Every time, it's a fantastic day. There's everything you can imagine Derby-wise. Chevy, Dodge, Ford, everything. There's compacts, there's bumpers, there's cars. But then you just get to talk derbying all day. I would suggest maybe not bringing your old lady. I know they'll tell you too. But because you're only going to talk derbying. My old lady refuses to go because she doesn't want to hear me talk derbying for 8 hours, which you're going to.
Are you keeping her identity secret? Is she witness protection program or something?
Yes.
She is? Okay.
Yeah, but it is a good time. We go to the bar after, expect to go to the bar afterwards. But I'm telling you, anybody that's planning on going, it's such a great time. He doesn't refer to her
as anything other than old lady because she's a minor.
Oh,
she's older than me. Chris, too far.
Just touching on that a little bit, Josh. They do work really hard to make it family friendly, so don't feel bad about bringing significant others.
No.
There's all kinds of female friendly vendors that are available before the buffet. Anybody that hasn't been there, there's a great outside auction with cars, parts, anything you could think of. There's going to be vendors there selling stuff. There's Derby model guys there.
Yep.
I think they have some activities at the bar and afterwards, and they get live music, awards.
Derby video guys are
there. Smash Empire Films has got some stuff that's going to happen there.
And also, it is a hotel where you're at. So if you're coming from a bunch of hours, just get a hotel room, book a night. They're not expensive there. Trust me, it will be worth it. It is every single year. And Steve's right. I'm sorry that I said that about don't bring in your wives, because there's definitely a lot of wives there and all that. But I just know mine hates hearing me talk derby.
All right, now that you've corrected it, I'll take back the minor comment.
Thank you. My old lady's 1 year older than me, Chris, by the way.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I got a ton of happy birthdays.
Talk about being worth it. I drove through a blizzard and slept on a concrete floor to go there, and it was awesome.
You did?
Yeah, he did.
Why don't you call me? You could sleep in my house. Or on the way there.
Somebody let me sleep in their hotel room, but the beds were taken. So, I'm a good cuddler, but not that good, apparently. So.
You can stay at my house, dude. I'm only 10 minutes up the road. But no, everybody should definitely come out there. If you wanted to meet certain drivers, everyone's going to be there. A lot of good drivers are going to be there, and everyone's in a great mood the whole weekend.
We're doing a live podcast there. Then after that, Josh is going to have his autograph session.
I was going to ask if we were going to have to hand out tickets so there wasn't a stampede or.
Actually, we could. We could hand out tickets. I don't know what they're good for.
Shut up. You guys crack me up with that stuff.
And then Steve's going to be down there again this year, and as long as the stars align, I think he's going to be master of ceremonies down there. I believe. I still don't know what the details are on it, but I know there's been a lot of talk about it. I hope so. Steve brings the party.
Talk from other people, but I haven't had any official comment on that.
Why don't we just book it now? Why don't we just book it now? Say it's happening. It's a live program. It's going to be on the internet forever, and if it's on the internet, it has to be true. So you're going to be the master of ceremonies.
I was just saying to Steve the other day. I was watching a Hartford videos, and I was telling Steve I was watching My Heat, of course, and I don't know if it's because he mentioned my name 40 times or it was, but I think Steve is the best announcer there is of derbying. I think he is a fantastic announcer, and I love listening to his videos, and I think you should be the master of ceremonies there. You are very good on a microphone. I want to
thank you.
He's going to be the official track announcer at Napa Winter Slam in Garden City, Minnesota.
That's awesome.
I cannot wait for that.
You're very professional, man. I think you bring us up one notch, and I'm glad you're on the show with us because I love hearing what you have to say. But that's going to be an awesome show out there.
Usually Steve's fire fingering through his phone and filling me in on what's going on in the live chat. And I don't even know if you've got the live chat up there now, Steve. And
he's big time.
But he's big time, dude. We got the Skype thing to work. DerbyTees.com Skype hotline. Kind of cool.
That's right. Yeah, I actually went to Finger Lakes 1, and when I clicked to view the feed, it brought me to the YouTube feed, so it did not bring up the live chat that I normally look at.
Okay.
And with the Skype thing going on at the same time, I just didn't have time to mess with it.
It's fine with me. I mean, it was great
People
to get
mad
the
at
Skype
you, man.
up. It was fun to get the Skype up and working, and
That's cool.
right here
Let's do this more often. I want to be on. You know,
Okay.
if your viewers will deal with me, I'll do it.
I'll take a poll, man. I'm gonna take a poll tonight.
take a poll.
I'll
He'll go-
Facebook poll it.
He'll go on. Josh is going to go on United States Demolition Derby Facebook page with all of his 10,000 friends, and he's going to.
Here's my chance, Josh. Post my stuff, man. I mean, come on.
Just tell me to post it. You know, everyone's been sending me pictures. I can't keep up with it because a lot of people do send me pictures out there. I can't. If I miss your stuff, I'm sorry.
Let's be real about this. You guys have over 11,000 members on that page.
Yep.
I'm sure you get over 1,000 pictures a day. There's no way they can all be posted.
Oh no, it's nonstop. It's pretty cool how many people are into that.
If you're only going to post one, it should be Steve's.
No, Steve, whatever
right,
you want.
right.
You send it to me and just write Decker post this. I'll do it. I promise.
All right,
know that.
right.
You know that. I got your back.
We're all fair here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's all right. You can post mine. That's all right.
All right.
Dude, great show today.
Yeah, it was a good one.
No,
it was a good one.
High five.
It was fun. Yes, high five him. Here, high five again.
No, I liked hearing
There
what
it
those
is.
guys had to say. That show
You didn't high
sounds like
five
a
him
good
back.
time.
Thanks a lot.
Who? Me?
You.
I'm not into high fiving.
Oh, what do you do? Fist bump?
Bump.
You're so. Never
Knuckles.
mind. There we go.
Knuckles.
Steve it. Yeah. There we go. It's awesome.
Brian thinks all this is ridiculous.
Well, Brian, get out of here.
I just
Old.
What?
I prefer experienced, but that's okay. No, I was just Decker put his hand up, and the last time I saw a hand that smooth and ladylike, I think it was on a check.
These are hands of a salesman, my friend.
Yes, they are.
The last time you saw hands that smooth and lady, like you were watching me edit video.
That could be it too.
Like Brian does manual labor at work. Get out of here. Look
Yeah,
at your hands, Mr. Sensitive. Get
Yeah,
out of
but
here.
at least mine looked like a man's hand. I mean, there's some
All
sign
right.
of it.
Yeah, well-
Enough of this. Steve, we appreciate you being on with us today.
Thank you, guys.
I greatly appreciate it, and we're going to be back here again next week. We got the whole Manshaki clan going to come in here, hang out with us, talk about being second and third generation drivers and what their plans are for the coming season, because they got all sorts of different rule changes and stuff that are in place. We got into that a little bit with Ben Host when he was on. So and everybody's going to be there. There's going to be Steve, Devin, and Austin. They're all going to be here. And Austin picked up a win at the Yates County Fair this year. Josh, you remember that show, right? You were there.
Absolutely.
You were
He did
there.
a great job, man. I was really proud of the kid.
He
He
did.
really did a good job. He's going against some really good cars. It was an extremely hard feature, and you had to give him credit. I know everyone was shaking his hand afterwards.
Absolutely.
He deserved every bit of it.
Yep.
He deserved every bit of it.
It was good to see. It was definitely good to see. But that's going to do it for this edition of the Crash Course Podcast. We're going to be back here again next week. We're certainly looking forward to it. What are you doing with the hand signals? We're trying to end the show.
I'll just end it.
Jeez. That's going to do it. We appreciate it. We'll see you right back here again next week.